What's up, YouTube family? It is S.Craft once again, and today we are doing another barber tutorial. We're going to focus on a mid fade today. As you can see, I already took my time to make my first guideline, which I did that with my Anda Slimline Pro LIs, and I made that line right around the top of the C-cup area so we could have shaved that C-cup off. Then I moved in with my Andis Pro Foil shavers and shaved all of the bottom of the head to get that thing looking nice and clean. So this guy, check it out, he usually does a comb over with a hard part. Even though he has curly hair, he likes to throw a little gel in it. It looks pretty pimpin', if I must say myself. So but right now he wants to actually braid his hair. So he didn't want to get it braided and have all the little hairs sticking out, you know, where the braids end. So he wanted me to come right under where the braids would actually start and just kind of do more of an undercut. So I started doing that with a 1.5 just to knock that bulk down. Now I'm coming in with a number one closed, and today I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to start from the bottom and kind of work my way up, even though I did knock the bulk off with a 1.5. But just to show you that there's different ways to do things, I'm doing it a little different. So I started with the number one closed. Now at this point I open the one all the way up, and I'm just knocking out the line that goes between the 1 and the 1.5. So now once again I'm using a 1 open. Comb the hair down, just make sure that you know, you're trying to get it in the direction you're cutting against, so that way you can get a cleaner blend and make sure you knock off all those little loose hairs that are there. I'm excited today to show you, you know, just a little bit of fiber enhancement on the edge. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I think it looks pretty clean. So here again, I'm just going around the back, doing the same exact thing. I'll focus on the sides in just a moment, just one side at a time, but I kind of wanted to get everything knocked down to an even level so that way we can focus on the side. As you can see, I'm turning my clippers upside down and going with the grain as well, because there are hairs that are curling up and I want to make all that smooth. So if you ever have any trouble with knocking out some lines between that 1 and 1.5, or you know, a 1/2 and a 1, just turn your clipper upside down and go against the grain whenever you're cutting more curly hair. So now I am opening up my, what is that I got right there? Let me see, my magic clips, my wall magic clips. So I open it up all the way to use the 1/2. Now I'm taking that 1/2 and really I'm just kind of flicking out into the 1. So that way we really don't even have to worry about a line. We're just going to blend it out right now. Once again, that is an open blade, or some would call it a 1/2, and we're just going right into the number 1. Sometimes there might be a little issue, so you can put your 1/2 guard on there, your 1/2 premium guard, wall guard, and just kind of knock that out. But so as you can see, I'm closing the lever just a little bit and just working my way down just a little bit to knock out any kind of lines that I see in there, or dark spots. Now closed it a little bit more, move my clippers down just a little bit to blend that you know, line out. So we're just going to keep doing that. Now I have the lever all the way closed, and I'm dropping right below the line and just coming up into the line and kind of flicking out. And see, a lot of times people, they'll start right on the line to try to take the line out. I always recommend that you start below the line and you come into the line with more of a flicking motion. If you hold your clippers, you know, up more, you're going to create more of a line. So what you're going to want to do is kind of rest that blade on the head and do more of a flicking out motion. Now to come in and do some more detail work, now that I've really got the bulk of it knocked down, I grab my Oster fast feeds, whatever you want to call them, and I have an open blade with no guard. I'm just coming in, you know, doing some detail work, knocking that down. A lot of times, so that I can move faster through a haircut, man, I just knock all the bulk down and I go through the system that I have, and you'll see, you know, some little dark spots, and the blend won't be as blurry as you want it to be, and that's okay, because really to move faster, a lot of times you just want to knock the bulk, get it down, get your system do the steps of the process or the system that you have. Just move through it quickly and then come back with whatever you like to detail with. Some people like to, stay with the original clippers they started with. I for whatever reason here lately, I really like my fast feeds, man. They just seem to work for me. Some people hate fast feeds. I personally love them, especially here lately. They just, feel good in my hand, and I feel like I have control. Some people don't like the fact that the blade moves a lot slower than other blades, and I never knock down bulk with my fast feeds because the blade does move quite a bit slower. But I like to come in and do a little detail work with that, and because I'm moving a little slower to do that detail work, I'm okay with the blade moving slower. Right now I put on a 1/16 guard, and now I'm just moving up above that open blade and just blending where the open blade was into where the one was at, just touching out this one. Now this dude, he's a friend of mine, but he has sleeping issues. I don't know if he has a sleeping disorder or what. He'll let me know, I'm sure, after he watches this video. But he kept dozing off, and as you can see, usually I don't even care, man. I let people fall asleep. I think that getting a haircut is one of the most relaxing things in the world, man. So if people wanna fall asleep, I'm cool with that. A lot of times as a barber, I think it's important to talk to people, to build that relationship. But if you've built a relationship, or you just recognize that they're tired and they're not really in the talking mood, that's a great thing, honestly, because it gives you time to focus on the cut and move a lot quicker so you can knock it out. Once again, just doing the little detail work with my 1/16 purple magnetic guard. While we have a little bit of time, I just want to say this. If you're not following me on Instagram, please do that. You can go to Instagram and look under S for Shannon, S.Craft _blends with a Z. Once again, took the guard off, now just using a closed blade and just flicking at that line just to make sure I knock it all out. Also, if you would do me a huge favor, go ahead and subscribe to my channel right now, man. That would be such a blessing. I am praying and I'm believing that I'm going to hit 1,000 pretty quick. I'm almost at 100 right now, and I need about 9 more 100 to go. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell so that you can get notifications when I drop new videos. And believe me, I am going to work my butt off for you guys to drop a lot of content. So as you can see, I was using my Anda Slimline Pros, and I was just flicking out that line once again to just do a little detail work. Now we're going to continue the same process that we already did around the whole head. And the steps are easy. I think everything in life is easier when you have a system. When you have a system and you work your system, it makes life a whole lot easier. You still have to work. Come on, you still have to work the system. We can't have success without work. But if you have a system in place, it helps tremendously. So once again, I was going through the same process. Now you see that I went back to my 1/16 guard, knocking out some of that darker spots, and then took that off and opened up my blade again, and just going back and forth. And sometimes, man, that's what it's all about when you're doing detail work. It's just stepping back, looking at the haircut, and seeing, is there any dark spots that I need to knock off? If it's a little higher, let me put a guard on. If it's a little lower on the bottom of the fade, let me take the guard off, and just trial and error. I've been cutting hair for 25 years, and I'm not the best. I can say that. I mean, there's people that's been cutting for a year that man, they're doing a phenomenal job. So I'm not the best, but I have a little bit of experience, and it's just there again, trial and error. I think a lot of the things that I've learned over the years was just because I was bored of the same system and wanted to try out a different system. So I've probably cut fades, and I've cut hair in so many different ways, from the bottom to the top to the middle. Man, I've done everything I can just to get a little creative so that I'm not bored out of my mind at the barbershop. Because, man, some days you wake up and you're in love with your job and you want to get up and you just want to go. And then other days you're like, man, this sucks, and I want to quit. But we got to keep doing what we love, right? And you got to keep pushing forward and just blessing people's lives with beautiful fades. So right now I'm just cleaning up the edge with my Enda Slimline Pros, and here soon I'm going to use some different clippers, just to kind of show you some different, different stuff, switch it up a little bit. If you have any comments, anything you would like me to share or try out, man, let me know. I love your feedback. I love any kind of input. I love trying new things. So right now I brushed the hair down so that I could prep it for the edge, and now I'm just coming in, and you can see it has a cowlick right there in the middle of the edge. I don't want to take it all the way up to the light spot in that cowlick, because then we would push it way back. However, we do need to still make it a little darker, and then I move from the middle out to the edges. I step back and I look, make sure my line's looking straight, and then I'll come back in a little bit later and clean it up with a razor. So right here, I'm using a little hair fiber man to make this thing pop. He has never got this done before, so he was kind of worried, man. You can see on his face like, what the heck is this dude doing to me? And anyways, so I just wanted to surprise him a little bit, and afterward he was extremely happy about it. So as you can see, man, I'm applying these hair fibers pretty thick. I mean, I'm generous with it, especially if he has really light spots. Some's gonna fall off or what have you, but usually what I'll do is I'll spray a little hairspray on first, or a little spritz, so that it will stick, and then I come back in and I'll hit it again. But as you can see, there's just a little bit of hair fiber on his forehead, which happens. So I come in with my straight razor and I just try to clean that up. And what's so amazing with the hair fiber or any kind of hair enhancement, if you don't overdo it, man, it can make a haircut look, I mean, amazing, just pop. So right now, as you can see, I'm kind of cleaning up that edge, and I'm just bringing it all the way down his forehead so I can get those loose hair fibers that fell on his head there, so that it has more of that clean appearance and he doesn't have hair fibers all over his forehead. Come on, somebody. So, man, that thing's looking pretty sharp, though. I've never been big into hair enhancements, or whether it be Kiss, Express, hair fibers. I've never been big on that. I'm kind of an old school cat, man. I'm an old school barber, and I thought, hey, a fade should look good because you are skilled, not because you have to paint anything on it. However, if it's used lightly or right there on the edge just to get that clean edge, I don't like to put anything on my fade at this point in my life. Who knows, it might change. I like to get creative, like I said, but now I'm going against the grain there again, just to cut all the hairs that are still there. When you go with the grain, it gets it bald, but when you come against the grain, it just makes it pop that much more, and we want this thing to pop. So that's what we're doing. Once again, I just want to tell you, I appreciate you guys for watching, man. You don't know how much of a blessing it is to get to share, just my craft with other people, things that I've learned over the years. And I know there's other channels out there that you could be watching. I'm thankful that you're watching mine. Thank you so much for that. Now I'm just spraying a little hairspray on there, some spritz. Also, I want to say thank you to all my customers that actually let me video them. Without them, I couldn't make the videos. So, boom, there's the finished product. Tell me what you think, man. I feel like it looks pretty blurry. I feel like that line looks smooth. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, share, hit the notification button. Come on. Hey, God bless you guys. Peace. I'm out of here.